Hello friend, today I'm going to share how I changed my mind about the electric toothbrush.
And I'm going to share how to live on in a reef. Let's get to it.
I'm going to be talking about a gadget, and this is an electric toothbrush. So I held out on getting an electric toothbrush forever. I thought they were overrated, I thought they were kind of hyped, they were expensive, and also mainly because I really do not like the feeling of vibration in my mouth. I will do anything, I know everybody hates the dentist, but I will go out of my way with any kind of excuse to not go to the dentist, because even that little vibrating thing that they do on your teeth just gives me like the tingles and the discomfort in the worst ways possible. But I was 100% wrong. Now, the pros of using electric toothbrush, which some of these I did know, but it wasn't enough to convince me yet, is they're more effective at removing plaque. Studies suggest that after 3 months of use, the plaque was reduced by 21% and gingivitis by 11%. They're easier for people with limited mobility. They have built-in timers. This is one of my favorite features I had no idea about. I'll talk more about that later as well. They also, and this is a surprising one for me, improve your focus while brushing. You can just kind of like daydream while you're brushing with a standard toothbrush, and I have definitely done this and kind of just been like, oh yeah, I think I'm done now. But that timer is key. It tells you when to switch and which sections to be brushing at what times. And also, it may improve your overall oral health with people with orthodontic appliances like me. It's also fun for kids, it's safe on your gums. Now the cons of it, it is a little bit more pricey for sure than a standard toothbrush, and there could be more waste. That's a little bit debatable, because if you're using a plastic toothbrush and just throwing the whole thing away and replacing them as much as they say you should, it might be a wash, but you do have to replace the tips, again, probably not as often as they suggest. So that I still have to see, now that I've been using them, how much more it's going to cost and how much more waste, because that is a concern of mine. But definitely check out an electric toothbrush.
Oh yes, I want to add a couple things here.
Yes, please.
So I use Sonicare,
Okay.
the Sonication, which is different from, there's two different kinds of electric toothbrushes, and I'm not sure if you're specifically talking about one or the other. Because there's one that
what's the Sonicare?
So that's using sound waves. So it's vibrating at a really much higher frequency than the other ones that just like spin around or whatever.
I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know.
Okay, so the Sonicare ones are really good for gums. I lost mine. I was traveling recently and I left it in the hotel.
Oh gosh.
Anyway,
Worst.
so it's like $80 gone, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. But anyway, I can tell a difference. I need to replace it because my gums are sensitive anyway, and they really help. They like massage them.
Yeah, it is wild. Yeah, although now I will say that I have that phobia of the vibration. It definitely, there's still, I've only been using this for just a couple weeks. And it's still a little bit of weird for me.
It is, yeah.
For sure. I have a feeling like most things in life that will become more, I'll get used to it and it won't be so bad. But the timer is key.
I love the timer.
That's amazing. So it just does a little like burp, burp, and then it means, oh, you've done 30 seconds in that area, go to the next one. For sure, a game changer. Because that, now I know I'm spending enough time in each section, and your teeth feel amazing. There is no difference that it is doing way more efficient work than a regular toothbrush, because you know that what I do love, like I think most people do, is that slick feeling that your teeth have when they're super, super clean and beautiful, and they feel so great. That happens all the time now, like even more so. Yeah, it's really converted me. It was one of those things I didn't think I'd ever do.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I've just been getting more into tooth health and how tooth health relates to overall health and how important that is. And I don't want to be one of those people that loses all I want to keep my natural teeth as long as I can. So I'm like, I need to be better about oral hygiene. And using the water pick more, using now this electric toothbrush, different kinds of toothpaste that I might talk about, and other areas that I've really done a deep dive on all this stuff. But this was the first one.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
All right.
It's cool.
I love it. I'm backing you 100% on that one.
Good.
Yeah. Excellent. My cool sheet has to do with end of life, and I'm going to be talking about coral reef burials. In previous episodes, we have talked about various alternatives to traditional burials, which are typically cremation or burial in a casket, but these alternative ones are really coming up now more recently due to an increased number of people that are seeking meaningful, alternative, and more environmentally friendly ways to deal with their remains after their death. And that has led to a rise in people choosing to be composted, to be buried with a tree, or become part of something such as having your ashes integrated into a vinyl record in a previous cool sheet of mine. But here's another option that I've just learned about, and this is having your remains to help new reefs grow in the oceans. This service is offered by several companies. One is, or even non-for-profits. This includes one called Eternal Reefs and another one called Neptune Memorial Reef, both of which of these are in Florida. And it works by using these artificial reef balls made of pH neutral concrete that human ashes are then put into. Then these reef balls are seeded in seabeds around the United States to promote new reef growth. And this is really cool, to be close to their loved ones, or to, instead of where you would normally go visit someone's graveside or something, family and friends will then know and can travel to the GPS coordinates where their loved one is located in the reef. An Eternal Reef combines a cremation urn, ash scattering, and burial at sea into one meaningful, permanent environmental tribute to life. I just think that's so awesome that they do this. And so each of these, they're 550 to 4,000 pound balls. They have space for marine plants and animals. So it's not just coral, it's also the algae, and then the fish can swim around them. And so the company Eternal Reefs currently has 3,000 memorial reefs, around 25 sites. They're just expanding and helping all these little sea critters and creatures live. And I just love this idea. So check this out. It is a way to have your remains in coral reefs.
Oh, wow. This is so cool. So now when I saw this notes, I was like getting depressed because I was like, oh no, we're going to talk about reefs dying some more and things like that.
Them.
No, so
we're dying.
It's the opposite.
And then we help them.
Yes. So this is way cooler than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Now, what I'm really looking forward to is hearing friend of the show, Brian Michaels' reaction to this, because he's a funeral director, and I would say that he definitely has some opinions on some of these alternative ways to distribute remains, most of them not favorable. I always tease him about what I have always thought I wanted to do is like the mushroom suit, where it's like where you get buried with all these different fungi and things like that. And he's like, if you ask me to do that or you talk to me about that, our friendship is over. It's really funny. I think he's somewhat joking, but also not, because just the business that he's in and things like this. Non-traditional, of course, means more work, different work, or whatever for him. I should probably have an actual real conversation. Most of the time we're just joking with each other about it. But he's a very traditional embalming or cremation type services that he provides. So I think when he gets in this realm, he gets a little,
Well, so I will say, essentially what this is you get cremated and then they take your ashes and then they do that.
So he probably, wouldn't have as much as, I think, like the mushroom suit, like they have to coordinate and like take care of it. And he's like, don't, like seriously, don't. Like don't even talk about it in my company.
Right.
So I can't wait to see what he thinks about this, because I think it's awesome. And hopefully he does too, or a lot of other people.
Now, there is a little negative slant to it, or something to think about, and that is that there is a carbon footprint with getting cremated.
Sure.
So just thinking about that.
Yeah, and and then the other thing about just traditional burial that a lot of people don't think about, the carbon emissions that you're getting released out of you with that, and putting something down into the ground, and you know, what kind of casket you have, and is that compostable,
Yeah,
and things like
yeah,
that. So
yeah.
all of that is really complicated,
Yes.
and there's a lot of things that go into that. So this is just, I'm glad that they have an alternative. And you can check out the show notes. They actually fit for this one pretty well. Tempestus.com/seed.
Yeah.
Because you could become a seed for a reef.
Right, exactly.
Thank you for joining us, friend. I'm Brian Hart.
I'm Karen McFarland-Holman.
And let us know in the comments, do you use an electric or a conventional toothbrush?
And let us know, what do you think about alternative burials?
If you're enjoying the show, give us a like and share it with a friend.
Stay tuned for another fun show.
And don't forget to stay curious.